Love you.
All right, we're getting a pretty good crowd in on our Monday night. Good evening. This is Bill Taylor joining you from the First Alert. I always do that. I say First Alert, but it's really just the Ken's 5 Digital Center. On a Monday night, a warm one as a matter of fact. I got some serious warm temperatures behind me. So here's what we're going to do. It's going to be twofold tonight. One of my favorite people is just off to my right, off camera right now, and that's Sue Kalberg. She's going to join us soon with a little bit of an update and a breakdown on this city mandate and just exactly what you need to know as this goes into effect tomorrow night. The good news is we've got 24 hours to understand what's going to happen before it's all implemented and takes effect. It'll be 11:59 Tuesday, so just before midnight Wednesday. So it's not until late tomorrow night that everything goes into effect. So let's talk a little bit of weather and show you what these afternoon highs did today. We should be stopping around 74, 75. San Antonio gets a little sunshine finally. We hit 81. Look at Pearsall, Cotulla, 89s, and then some 90s. George West and Beeville. Hi, Kaylee. And that's on the way for us. Love you, too. Thanks for watching. Teresa's in shirts. Good to see you. Hey, Ann. And we've got it. We need some nice weather, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Mother Nature needs to supply sun, vitamin D, and some therapy sunshine, as I like to call it, so we can get outside and see our neighbors and our loved ones and enjoy some of this sunshine and get some activity going as well. Thank you, Paul. You know, this is an old school Ken. This is one of my favorite ones. This is, if the marketing people see this, they're going to get mad at me and I'll get in trouble because this is the old Ken's logo, technically. The new one has a little CBS eye on it. But I love this shirt. I call it my Ken's Cantaloupe shirt. Hey, Jennifer. Yeah, so this is an oldie but a goodie, so I said I have to wear this one. All right, so with a nice warm afternoon, we're actually going to get warmer. Hola, Monica. ¿Cómo estás? There's Bernie. How you doing, Cindy? Speaking of new orders, Bernie came in strong, too, with a new city mandate. I know that's on their website. Be safe, Yvonne. Thank you, too. Waco, you're under a shelter in place, I heard, Carolina. There's Castroville. Hi, Amy. Brackenville's here. Christopher. We do. We need every bit of this sun. I agree, Margie. There's Cibolo. Hi, Evelyn. Teresa from a distance. That's right. That's why Sue Kalberg is 6 feet to my right. South Texas Blood and Tissue, Veronica. God bless you guys. I know there's a great shortage going on, and without getting blood drives out in the community, you really need people to get down there to the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center on I-10 and make sure that they're getting blood donated. We are at a crisis situation at South Texas Blood and Tissue, so I'm glad you're there. Thanks, Cindy. Vitamin D does it good, right, Cecilia? Absolutely. There's Floresville and shirts, Davila. All right, here's what happens tomorrow for South Texas weather. There's a frontal boundary out to the west. You see this now just kind of getting into southeast New Mexico, far west Texas. Well, that's going to swing in. It's a Pacific front. Whenever you see them moving more left to right than north to south and top to bottom, that means we're definitely seeing more dry air than we are cold air. In fact, here's what's interesting. This front sweeps through tomorrow. We will get some nice west to northwest winds, but we won't see temperatures drop. In fact, we'll get drier air, and as a result, temperatures will go up. See, when the dew points drop, the air will heat up a lot more efficiently, okay? With drier air, we're going to see some bigger highs for sure. In fact, take a look. Now, I told you that today's 81 was above normal. We're going about double digits above normal. Starting tomorrow, 89 with that first front, then 91 on Wednesday. So it's almost a hot front, right? Then 14 degrees above average Thursdays, we hit 90. And then a reinforcing front. That will bring a chance of rain on Friday night into Saturday. Brief 20%, maybe 30% chance because the air will be so dry that by Friday there won't be enough moisture in the tank for that second front to work with. Ramen noodles, Jesse. They're hard to find too, right? You got to get some ramen in you. Romelia, good to see you. Cuero's here from Corpus Christi. So Glennis is in Cuero. You're turning into a gobbler in front of our very eyes, see? From Corpus to Cuero. That'd be a good country song. From Corpus to Cuero. All right, 7-day forecast, because weather's going to be quiet all week long. We don't have a weather system to speak of. That little Pacific front is, like I said, going to actually warm us up, dry out the air, so the dew points are really going to drop. I think we will see a few morning clouds and fog tomorrow morning early. And then the fronts by the afternoon, that's going to clean us out. No more foggy mornings. This morning was really thick fog. But tomorrow morning, decreasing the clouds early, and then lots of sunshine, 89, sunny and 91 on Wednesday, 90 on Thursday, nearly 90 Friday before the second front that will cool us off a little, and that's where we should be, mid to upper 70s with a slight chance of some rain. Hey, Vanessa, good to see you. Panama City's here. Hey, Pam, I wish I was in Panama City. Oh my gosh, love the beach. And that's a beautiful beach too. Sugar white sand. Right, Johnny? This is good stuff for Four Seasons Pest Control. Good to see you. Need some hot, here comes the hot, Carmen, and lots of it, lots of heat. All right, so 7-day forecast will stay up for us, as you can see that. I want to talk a little bit about what happened with the city and the decision from Mayor Ron Nierenberg, as well as County Judge Nelson Wolf. Now, the governor came on yesterday, Sue Kalberg, and we were all expecting a statewide shelter in place. Instead, he said, I've got 254 counties in Texas, 200 plus, not one coronavirus case. So he really didn't think a shelter in place statewide would be good, but he emphasized that every city has and remains to have the power to do that. And now you've seen Waco do it, Dallas do it, Austin's doing it, and here's San Antonio. But I thought it was interesting, he did not use the term shelter in place.
He didn't. What they're calling it here is stay home, work safe. And all of the measures, this is pages and pages and pages. They spent all day, the mayor and the county judge spent all day codifying this and thinking of every possible eventuality. And so people have been calling us all afternoon saying, well, what about the plumber? And what about my sister? And so what we're hoping to do here, and I'm glad that I'm joining you here.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to have you in
you're
here.
doing the weather school, and now we're doing the stay home, work safe
school.
Because it's single spaced, and it goes on for pages and pages and pages. There are pages of exemptions, and like you said, it doesn't take effect until tomorrow night at 11:59.
We should say that if we don't cover something and we run out of time or don't get to all the questions, you can go to sanantonio.gov and this will all be there. So you can
Or you can go to kens5.com.
Kens5.com.
And we'll have the
See,
link.
the marketing people are going to really get on me now. Not only am I in this shirt, but now I'm, But yeah, we've got a link on kens5.com. Download the Kens5 app. See, I'm trying to level it out now. Download the Kens5 app. You really should have that. And you can get to this and have it in the palm of your hand.
Right, and another thing about the Kens5 app is that the digital team is doing a great job of just putting little thumbnail things in there. Like, here's something new,
Right.
Here's what Lavernia's doing, here's what Comfort's doing, here's what all these people are doing. And they're feeding it to you in spoon-sized bites. It's like eating an elephant. If you tried to digest everything
Great
that was
analogy.
going on,
You can't.
You couldn't do it.
Right, and so
But
if
the
you get it a little at a
digital
time
team,
to absorb.
the digital team is just doing, hey, here's one sentence that you can, it's super helpful for me.
When all this information's going out, within a fluid situation, as the term is, because it is ever changing. Tomorrow there could be something waiting for us that we're unaware of. Cases are doubling, it seems like, every day. We're up close to 60 cases now in San Antonio, right? And so that in Bexar County, that's going to continue to climb because more people are getting tested and we're going to have more symptoms. It seems, and let me say this, with this declaration, it just seems that we're enforcing something we've been asking people to be doing already, right?
Correct. They're just trying to get compliance from more people over more industries quicker so that we can flatten the curve.
And do you see anything that if somebody violates any of this, that they could be fined or they could be, charged with something?
All of this is backed up by fines and the possibility of jail time, yes.
Wow.
Both at the city and the county levels. The county goes into a little bit more detail about that because they cover more territory and more people. But it's all backed up by fines and the possibility of jail time. They're serious.
Now let's talk about the term non-essential. That's essentially what we're at here with what this covers. That
Right.
non-essentials should be staying home and not reporting for work or going out of the house.
Right. I mean, it starts out by saying stay at home. All individuals living in San Antonio are ordered to stay at home consistent with the direction and guidelines in this declaration. So that means stay at home. But then it goes on to provide about 4 pages, single-spaced, of exemptions to this. And so almost everybody who has a life safety function to address or work to do can do it. First of all, anything that you're doing in your own private home is exempt. If you were already working from home, if you were already taking care of an elderly relative, if you were already taking care of livestock or animals, if you're whatever you're doing in your private home, as long as you're taking care of yourself, all of that is exempt.
So Martin has a quick question, Sue, not to interrupt, but to interrupt you. If you're working out of town, can you still travel home back into and from San Antonio?
Yes.
Like say you have a job out of the city.
Yes.
You can go back and forth no matter what that job is.
I think so. I think travelers, it doesn't specify, I didn't see anything that specifically addressed that.
Right.
But it says that you are free to move about the country to do things that are exempted. And there are,
Gotcha.
almost everybody in the construction trades is exempted. You know, if you're a welder
Right.
or a plumber or an electrician or a pipe fitter or a mechanic or a diesel mechanic or a transportation worker, all of those people are exempt.
As do the supply stores that equip those workers. You've got Lowe's, Home Depot, Academy for that. The box stores will stay open.
Those people are exempted. IT people are exempted. If you're one of the people who keeps the infrastructure going or you're helping people work from home, you're exempted. You can go places to help people keep the internet superhighway going.
April wants to know deadline on this. It's until April 9th. It's until April 9th.
Midnight, April 9th, right?
Right.
It starts tomorrow at 11:59, and unless they amend it, it's scheduled to be over at 11:59 p.m. on April 9th. Okay, item D, stay at home. Restaurants, prepared food retailers, microbreweries, microdistilleries, wineries may only provide room service, takeout, delivery, drive-in, or drive-through services consistent with state and local laws. You may remember they talked about this when the governor made his announcement.
Now, I read in Sunday's paper too that there were some restaurants that got a little confused with how they could serve the alcohol. You know, some laws still apply. You can't, serve an open container. And if you're, say you're giving someone a margarita, the tequila and the mix and it's all separate. And so it all goes into the vehicle is how I think they can legally do it now.
Also, this establishes that all the social distancing requirements have to be met at the place, at the preparation area, at the waiting area, in the lines and all that. So even if you're going to get takeout, you have to make sure that you're following the rules as you're in line.
Yeah, I mentioned Academy, and I'm not sure I'm correct on that either. I don't know if Academy Sporting Goods is allowed to stay open.
Obviously they're not. No store is mentioned by name.
Right. No chains like that are mentioned by name, but it did say box stores, and I just kind of added that in. I'm not sure that. Right, and that's going to be your Targets, your Lowe's, your Home Depot. Those will all stay open.
Right. So then they go on to definitions. Section 2 is definitions. And like we said, we've got a link at kens5.com. The web team did a really good job of laying out a lot of these various and sundry exemptions. But we've also got a link to this entire thing, which is pages and pages. Health and safety activities for yourself, your pets, obtaining medical supplies, obtaining medication, getting health care into your home if you need it. Veterinarians. Necessary supplies is item 2. And so essentially that means that you can go out to the store and you can continue to restock your pantry. And the mayor made a big point of saying, hey, quit running on the stores, just stop it.
Right, he did. Did you see how he got, at that moment, he just goes, stop. Yeah. And he stared at the camera. I got a little nervous. He's a big dude. I'm telling you, as the kids say, he's swole. And he is. He will drop you like a bag of flour. I mean, he means business. And that really is. I mean, come on. And I'm glad the stores have finally stepped up and are saying, look, you can't even buy that much anymore. One per household, one case per family.
Social distancing.
Social distancing the whole time. That's what's, in a way, really hard to accomplish when there's such a line at HEB. Everybody's standing on that line. Try to exercise. It's really self-exercising because HEB can't enforce that on their line and expect to get everything done. Which, by the way, HEB was hiring. No longer. They got over 40,000
40,000
applications in. So they cut it off. They said, sorry, but we don't have that many jobs. So they're done accepting applications. But my daughter starts at Target tomorrow. So I think Target might still be hiring.
Okay, the next category is outdoor activity. And you mentioned that because the forecast is going to be spectacular.
Finally. You know, last week I was so nervous with all this happening and people staying home. It's like it really makes it more difficult because you can go outside and enjoy some fresh air. You can take a walk in our beautiful parks. You can go on Mission Trail and enjoy the beautiful missions. And I think you need to, you know, because this is the time that, you know, you can pause and stop in life and embrace family time, embrace that walk in the park with, you know, just turn the phone off, turn the I mean, there's really nothing else to do right now until we can mitigate this, and then we can get back to our normal routines. But you know, we saw what happened in countries that didn't get out ahead of this. And if you really want to look up what's going on in Italy, it'll break your heart. It is so bad there, because people can't even visit the folks. Well, we can't visit folks in hospitals right now. You know, our hospital systems, no visitors now. And that's happening, that's been happening in Europe. And imagine having a loved one trying to win a battle against coronavirus and you can't even go see him. I mean, and in a lot of cases, this doctor was being interviewed and he said, I have patients that die alone in this hospital because nobody can come see him.
Or happy occasions. My friend Alicia had a baby this morning, and when they were going to the hospital, her husband had a little slight cough and they wouldn't let him in.
See?
She had to have a baby all by herself because he coughed upon check-in.
Well, our family expanded, not mine personally, but our Ken's family expanded by one. Joe Reinagel is a grandpa to his second grandchild. He just had a new grandbaby girl yesterday. He can't visit her, and that's not going to he's not going to meet her until she comes home.
Right. But, you know, save a little,
it is.
Save a lot.
There you go, right? We sacrifice now to save so many lives in the long run.
Okay, I'm going to say one more thing about going outdoors.
Okay.
Do you have any idea how many miles of hike and bike trail we have in this town?
See, this is the person who would know how many.
More than 70 miles of trails.
See that?
Around San Antonio. The Howard W. Peak Greenway Trail System.
I love it.
People
That's
haven't
where I
even
ride my bike on.
stopped to consider what a resource it is, especially now, because no matter where you are in this town, we are surrounded by an emerald necklace of green. And
Ooh,
that's 70.
That was beautiful.
That's Howard.
Emerald.
Peak,
I love Howard Peak.
Emerald necklace of green.
I love that.
70 miles around town, and almost every single mile there is a park.
Yeah.
So you got kids, you can go to the bathroom, you can get a drink of water, you can stop, you can do social distancing, there's places to park. So as you go outside to these hike and bike trails, you know, make sure that you practice.
I love it. And again, yeah, the weather is perfect for it. Those trailheads are mini parks. I mean, it's and I did see just off of Prue Road on my way home for dinner tonight. It was packed, and it has been. Every night I'm driving by there at 7:15, and every parking spot is taken, you know, and it's fantastic to see that.
People are going to discover things about their town that they never knew before. And they're going to be blown away when they get out there in nature and see what this trail system is. I mean, we paid for it with our tax dollars with that little 1/8 cent, you know, incentive, sales tax that we've had all these years. We've invested millions. It's beautiful.
And they are beautiful. They're wide, they're paved. I ride my bike. People are walking, running, dogs, everything. It's fantastic.
It's safe.
Very safe. Well patrolled. I see park
Yes.
police every time I'm out there. Very well patrolled.
And
That's a good point.
stewards on bicycles.
And yeah, the stewards.
And there's bike fixing stations.
Yes, there is.
Like you have a
can
flat,
air up.
you
You
get
can fix a
air,
flat.
you know.
Yeah. There are a lot of
Okay.
tools. Okay.
I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Because
So
that's
we
my
were at
favorite
health and
activity.
safety.
And now, okay, this is where it gets really hairy. It's 3 more full pages, and I don't want to bore everybody and overstate everything, but I'm just going to run through.
Yeah,
a lot of
kens5.com.
exempted-
Kens5.com to look at all of this.
Exempted businesses, healthcare services, there's a million of them. If you are involved in the healthcare industry, you're probably exempt. Government functions, providing for health, safety, and welfare. Education and research for distance learning. That's
Yeah,
a big one.
when I saw this, I said, okay, what does this mean for education and research? So how does this change from what we're doing right now?
For facilitating distance learning.
Okay.
So in other words, if you're a teacher and your administrator says you got to go to the class to the facility
Okay.
to effectively
You need to get to the classroom
do
to load for Google
distance
Classroom or
learning,
something. Gotcha.
Then you can do that.
Gotcha.
So that is that's exempt. I mean, a lot of teachers are doing this from home. My own daughter had a Zoom meeting she tried it out last night with 20 kids, and
Oh,
oh
awesome.
my gosh, they were so excited.
What grade?
Yeah, she teaches at Warren High School, but
yeah.
the elementary teachers, I know that you saw the parade.
Yeah. I got some great pictures and video from Tuscany Heights Elementary, Northeast Independent. They had an entire, I mean, you should have seen the cars of teachers driving the neighborhoods and waving to their students. And then there were students out there with signs, how much we miss you, love you, can't wait to be back.
We miss you, little monkeys.
I don't know if we'll get back.
Yeah.
You know, it really, because this Google Classroom, it might be so efficient, there's only 8 weeks left. So they might just say, you guys stay home and, enjoy your summer afterwards.
I'm glad you said that because SAISD put out some information earlier this evening and they took it back and they said they're going to make a big announcement tomorrow about what they're going to do for the going forward time.
Could they be the first
so
one? Is that what you think it is?
If you saw the information earlier that said that they were suspending operations, that turned out not to be true. They put the information out. They're going to revise it tomorrow. They weren't ready to make a definitive statement. But I would think that all of the districts are going to reevaluate what's going on based on what happened today. So it's critically important
So you're saying SAISD tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Could be the first one.
Big announcement tomorrow. But okay, so infrastructure. Okay, I've taken a lot of calls from the tradesmen. And you know what? All you guys who fix things, you got to go to work. Essentially.
Yeah.
Because if it's broken and it needs to be fixed to keep people moving and to keep people safe and healthy, the plumbers, the electricians, the fixing people, the mechanics, the diesel field mechanics, Cliff, my brother, public works, construction of housing, commercial construction,
we're not
operations.
letting anybody stop on 281 construction.
Yeah.
Y'all press forward. Get
Water,
that done.
sewer, gas, electrical, oil refining, roads, highways, public transportation, and all the businesses related to transportation, including vehicle manufacturers, suppliers, car dealerships, parts distribution, maintenance, and repair facilities. And we haven't talked much about Nelson Wolf, but that is one thing he said about 4 or 5 times. Industry needs to keep going. Construction needs to keep going. We need to keep building things. Those people, you're supposed to practice, distancing, do it safely, but keep on building because we need to be safe. We need our roads to work. We need to be able to flush the toilets. Don't flush the wipes.
I was listening to Michael Berry, talk show host out of Houston, and on the way back in tonight from dinner, his concern is more about the economic fallout and what happens to our economy in the wake of this than he is the virus, than he is now let's protect human lives. I don't know if I totally agree with that. Let's do everything we can right now, but we have to, and that's why I'm glad Judge Wolf is thinking that way, think about the exit strategy on this and where the economy is going to be, because how long is this going to be? That's something that no one can answer right now. I hear some people say late May. I've heard September. I mean, it's any guess right now.
And the rumors are.
Yeah, the rumor mill is going crazy.
Gosh.
But
Okay.
here's what we do know. This goes into effect, what we're talking about tomorrow night, late tomorrow night, right before midnight. So technically, let's just say midnight tomorrow night, and then it goes until April 9th.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom through these food service establishments that offer takeout, carry out, all of that stuff. Laundromats, dry cleaners, laundry, you can still stay clean. Here's one that was real important to my friend Pam Allen and all of the people who take care of the disadvantaged. Services for economically disadvantaged populations. If you're running a shelter, if you're keeping people from dying on the streets, if you're running one of those food bank opportunities like I found at Ephesus Church on the East Houston Street today, you can continue to do those kinds of things as long as you follow the 6-foot guidelines.
It's Ephesus Church, like the old Ephesus from the book of Ephesians? That's really neat. Oh, what a great name.
Oh my gosh, and those guys, the volunteers, were like, stay back.
Really? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Those deacons, I wouldn't mess with those guys, man. They had their gloves, they had their masks, and everybody was cooperative and grateful.
Right.
It was just a delight to see, And so the people who are out there saving lives and serving their Lord, serving their faith, being true to their faith by by providing for the needy
Loving
at this
one another,
time,
man.
loving one
Loving one
another. You know,
another.
that's essentially what the mayor and the county judge said
Yeah.
is let's love one another.
Exactly.
And that kind of activity is still going to
You know,
be
that's
allowed.
what I hope.
Bless us, you know.
In this, you know, you talked about people discovering new things like our beautiful Greenway Trail system. Well, I hope we discover how much we just need to love each other in all this, and that continues after all this too. Because there are some things I think will stay that way. You know, I think food service handlers with gloves on, why not continue to do that? I can't believe it took this to do that. I mean, you should always, any food service handler. Anyway.
Right. Okay, hotels, temporary residence facilities, trash, people who collect trash, mail and shipping services. Anybody who cleans anything can go to work. Plumbers, electricians, exterminators, moving services, safety providers, anything that has anything to do with sanitation. News media, we get to stay outside.
Can we drop packages off at the post office?
Mail and shipping services, item number 3 under subsection 9.
Good question, Joseph. Yes, you're good.
Yeah. Financial institutions, banks, credit unions, insurance companies, child care services. Okay, now listen to this worship services one, because somebody called and they had a real problem with this because they said it was interfering with their constitutional right to practice their religion. And you know, nothing should be, you can't do that. But here's what it says. Religious and worship services may only be provided by video, teleconference, or other remote measures. So
My church fell into the latter of those 3, or the last of them, I guess. Latter would only be 2, wouldn't it? I don't know. I have to check with Greg Matthews, our grammatic guru. But anyway, remote measures. My church yesterday had drive-in church. We all pulled up in our cars. We all stayed in our cars. We waved to our neighbor, rolled down the window, good morning. And then he was on the roof of the church, and he preached. And instead of getting, can I get an amen? He got honks on the horn. It's a great story. Jaleesa did it. It's on the Ken's 5
You should go watch
page.
it.
Watch that story. Yeah, Gateway Fellowship. It was fantastic.
It was awesome. It was an awesome little story. Funeral services, if you follow the other rules about social distancing and no more than 10 people
See
congregating.
now, Gail, if somebody told you it's non-essential, that's incorrect. I mean, if you need a plumber to fix your pipes,
Plumbers, it's right there.
your plumbers are covered. You
Plumbers.
can show them this. I mean, that's definitely something you can.
Page 3,
get fixed and
subsection
repaired.
9, plumbers are number 4.
Jesse, it was Gateway Fellowship out in Helotes, 1604 at Braun and Bandera.
Okay,
Construction workers, absolutely, Ramona. Yes, construction continues. You're included.
a lot of government stuff. This says
Escrow offices for real estate?
the banks.
Yeah, that's considered banking, right?
I mean-
an escrow office, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if you you're going to have to really dig into this 7 or
Absolutely.
10 pages of stuff. So
Funeral services.
government activity.
We saw Mission Park is now doing online. You know that was a great move. But funeral homes, crematoriums, and cemeteries, CISA sectors, all business and operations necessary to the operation and maintenance of 16 critical infrastructure sectors.
That's like federal government related
That's government
things.
related?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then item number 4, this is the last page, thank goodness. It says we agree with the county and the county agrees with the city, and we're
Okay.
all in this together and we're cooperating. And so whatever we don't cover, the county will cover, and we're gonna work with each other. That's item number 4. Item number 5, people who are sick should stay at home and not engage in activity outside their house, unless
Absolutely.
it's to go to the doctor. So you can still go to the doctor. That's nice. If someone, here's a good one, we haven't talked about this before. If someone in a household has tested positive for COVID-19, they must follow the isolation and quarantine measures. And if a member of the household tests positive, then the other members of the household should consider themselves positive, even if they haven't had the test. But if you're living in a house with somebody, you should follow the same guidelines and absolutely stay home.
Yeah, that's the only way. I mean, that's really common sense.
Okay, nursing homes, we know this already. We've talked about nursing homes. You can't go in and visit a nursing home. The only provision they've made now is that you can go to visit somebody for end-of-life visitation. So if you've got a family member who's near
Hospice.
death or hospice and you need to say your goodbyes, then they're making exceptions for that. So that's nice.
Well, thank God.
And
Yeah.
then, laboratories that are doing testing for COVID have their own huge section in here. So I'm not even going to go into that, but just know that it's true.
And you know what's going on. Can you bring us up to speed on where the testing is going in the city, how that's going, and how many tests we're getting into the city right now? Are we in good shape? Do you know?
I know that we added the other place at the Freeman Complex the other day, and that's on our list of things to look into tomorrow. Is how's that going? How's the testing ramping up?
But we currently have 2 drive-up facilities?
Two, I believe two.
I believe
Yeah.
2.
And so we didn't even talk about the county
Lyft or Uber?
transportation is included.
Transportation is included.
there, yeah.
Is in there. So
Transportation
absolutely.
is good.
Transportation, you're good,
For
Rebecca.
for stuff you really need. Mm-hmm. Like what's not in here? Tattoo parlors. I mean, I can't
Right.
even tell you how many calls I took yesterday that people were really angry about tattoo parlors being in business because you can't stay 6 feet away from somebody.
It's
there's
impossible.
a line and
Right.
you know.
Well, one of them that's kind of on the cusp is hair salons.
Yes.
And I read in the paper yesterday there's a small hair salon that's staying open, and clients are coming in and out, and and I've got a good friend who owns 3 hair salons, and she's like, look, before this all happened, I decided it was not a good idea to be open because and clients weren't coming in anyway. I mean, it wasn't really something that people wanted to subject themselves to. And again, a lot of what happened today is common sense, and we've been talking about for a week and a half as far as what we should be exercising to get out ahead of this and slow down and flatten the curve. So now it's more official, but it's not. That's why I'm glad he didn't use the term shelter in place. See, I lived and went to college and started my television career in Lake Charles, Louisiana, where there's petrochemical plants. They would issue a shelter in place. It meant shelter in place. You cannot breathe the outside air. One of the plants had an accident and something was emitted into the atmosphere that could kill you. I mean, you could not breathe that in. So you had to sit tight, turn off the AC units until that passed. And it would be a couple, 3, 4, it would never be days at a time like this. But a lot of other cities and states for that matter, New Jersey, shelter in place statewide. Well, it's not really, I think that sends panic, where it doesn't have to.
Right. Okay, now there are a couple of things on the county side, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Carissa wants the church rules again. Let me find that page for you, Carissa, and I'll read that to you because I did just see it.
Essentially, it says distance. You have to do it by remote.
Yeah,
Video,
it has to be remote
teleconference or
there you
other
go.
remote measures.
Other remote, like the drive-in that we did at our church, or a lot of
Facebook
them are doing
Live.
teleconference and Facebook Live services.
Yeah. Okay, now here are some things that
Right,
that
Jesse?
apply
I agree.
only to the county because the county is the courthouse and other things. The county,
It's a
next
good point,
30
Nana.
days,
People are going to run out of money.
evictions are suspended for the next 30 days. Foreclosure
Right, if you're renting, you
proceedings-
cannot be evicted. Know that. I saw an eviction at these apartments right next to us off Mockingbird. All their things were outside. I said it's so hard for us to cover news outside of the coronavirus because we have so much information to disseminate and get out to you that there's no room for other stories. And I thought, that person got evicted. They can't legally evict anyone. Landlords have been suspended from that ability.
But let me say, landlords can file paperwork, but they cannot go to court. So there aren't going to be any orders issued for.
But they
it's
can't. But
suspended
it'll
for
be
30 days.
but it'll be waiting at the end of the 30 days.
Right, and if you're just trying to be a goof off and take advantage of the system, they will come get you in 30 days, I think.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. So it's
suspended evictions for at least
Good
30
point.
days. Foreclosure proceedings, where they sell
So
stuff.
Debbie, Kens5.com or the Kens5 app, and we've got a link to all of this stuff on there. So go to Kens5.com.
Foreclosure proceedings are suspended for 30 days. The Bexar County Essential Services, all of the things, the clerks and everything, they want everybody to do business online or by mail while we work this out.
Okay.
Like don't go to the courthouse and stand in line. Don't overwhelm those
If
clerks.
they want a marriage license,
Try to do it online,
all online.
or try to do it by mail.
laundromats,
Yes, laundromats
Open.
are in here. Yeah.
Dry cleaners,
Yeah,
open.
dry cleaners, that's in here somewhere. I don't remember what number it was, but it's in there.
So Gilda wants to know about surrounding counties, Sue, Comal, Kendall. I know Bernie had some specific, we led our 6 p.m. newscast with something out of Bernie. That mayor did a video that'll also be on our website.
I think the county officials they have really gotten into the internet age, and it used to be that the counties were lagging a little bit and posting information online, but man, they are Johnny on the spot now.
Good.
And if they're not doing it to their own personal web pages, county web pages, man, there's so much information out there
Yeah.
on Facebook right now. So if you have a question about an outlying area,
Thanks, Jess.
anywhere on Facebook. They're doing a really good job.
Anything on call centers?
I don't remember where I saw it in the paperwork, but I do remember that somebody asked about that in the mayor's news conference, and he
Right.
specifically addressed call centers by name. And what I'm remembering that he said was people who work in these environments still have to follow the 6 feet rule. So if a call center can't accommodate people, and the thing about
10 or more.
10 or more congregating, yeah. I mean, they still have to follow those
Because
rules.
I know,
But you know, a lot
isn't
of
West
business,
still down the street from us here?
a lot of businesses
There's a lot of
are
people.
moving to remote, though. I mean, here
Yeah,
at KENS
yeah, you
5,
can
we're
do that.
talking about answering our phones remotely. I mean,
right.
we're producing newscasts. We're reporters and photographers are working the field. So a lot of businesses, a lot of industries are just going to have to upgrade their technology. That's why IT people are all exempt.
Are exempt because of the new technology.
Yeah. So,
Excuse me.
oh, here's the one on price gouging in the Bexar County side.
Oh, yeah.
It's the item number 6. The prices should remain as they were on Thursday, March 19th. So
Last Thursday.
all of this gouging for the eggs and the milk that people have been sending us photos.
Well, I heard
left
about
and
toilet
right.
paper gouging. Yeah.
Single roll toilet paper.
For $2.99 or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so that says don't do that, and it's
Honey,
right there.
Right,
in,
Amanda? I agree.
in item number 6.
Yeah, Medina County and a lot of the neighboring counties, check our website on some of that information, Jose, because we're not sure on exactly which counties have done what, but I'm not sure on Medina County.
Okay, and I don't know if you remember the other day, but they suspended jury service and jury trials too. But item number 7 specifically says all courts within Bexar County should restrict non-essential in-person proceedings. So that kind of broadens it out a bit. Okay, and the county says people who are sick should stay at home and not engage in any of these activities outside their residence.
Absolutely.
Unless they're going to the doctor. So, amen for that. That's
Yes,
what I say.
Now, until April 9th, again, what we're talking about in effect from tomorrow night until April 9th.
And finally, item 9, any peace officer or person with lawful authority is hereby authorized to enforce this. Any person who violates the executive order may be subject to a fine not exceeding $1,000 or confinement for a period not exceeding 180 days. So don't risk it.
Right, don't risk it. And like you said, know this, so that, because someone with a plumbing issue, you do have recourse. You should be able to have a plumber. They are not covered. They're definitely exempt from this. Picking up a child for visitation. That's a good question, Yvette. I guess it depends on who.
Well, you can do, it says in here that anything that's regarding personal members of your family that takes place in your own house,
Is
those
exempt.
activities can continue.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember, but at the end of spring break, we had a deal where, kids change hands for spring break. And some of the custodial parents who got their kids and had them for spring break said, oh, well, spring break continues. I'm keeping my kid. And the courts
right.
made a ruling, and what they said was, we're sticking to the original school calendar. So if the original school calendar said spring break is 1 week and it's this time, then that's the order, and you got to give the children back.
But see, it's interesting because again, it all comes down to the language. Spring break has been extended because what they've done with Northside, I'm not sure of every district, but I do know that in Northside, those 5 days will not count against the student. So it's a wash. They're not going to have to make up those 5 days. So it was literally an extension of spring break. They got 2 weeks of spring break this year.
Okay, I have one final thing. We've got a couple of things that are really cool on our web, on our social. The web team, they're doing, like be proud of your school, show us your school.
Oh, yeah.
And they're looking for pictures of kids at home in their little campus. The first picture
School
I saw.
shots. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, these people, they had some shelves and they had a little desk and they had some little things on the wall and a little carpet and she was like a first grader, a little bitty kid, but she was literally homeschooling. The picture was just adorable. So if you've got a picture of, your family and how you're dealing with this, go ahead and send it to us through the web. Go look for that one
Absolutely.
because that was hysterical.
That's
and
good
then my
stuff.
daughter started a thing, her first day of distance learning. Like everybody
Right.
takes the first day of school picture. It's first day
Right.
of school.
Right.
So, if you're schooling from home and you're in your jammies. I mean, my daughter did that. She's a teacher.
Yeah.
She was in her llama pajamas today.
There you go.
She called it Pajama Monday, and tomorrow is Crazy Sock Tuesday.
And reach out. I think about
Send
some
us
of the
your
people
photos.
that really need help with their little ones, like elementary school students, and maybe you're a single mom that's a nurse. How are you getting through that? You've got to go to work as a healthcare provider. Reach out to some of these high school students that are also home. Remember, all the high school students are home and are very good babysitters and very good tutors, I might add. And if you are a high school student, check on your neighbors. Go knock on a door. It's still okay. You can stay 6 feet away, knock on a door, check on people. Say, can I help you with anything? I know you've got 3 kids and you've got to be at wit's end. Can I give you a break for a couple hours and volunteer some babysitting? Just let's be kind and reach out and love each other. That's going to be important, that we all kind of join in and beat this. It takes a village, and this will be the time that we define this community. San Antonio's always been, that's why I've always stayed here. I love raising my girls here. I love the city's environment, its culture, its feel, and these are moments where we can rise to the occasion.
That's what the mayor and the county judge both said that today.
Good.
That they're fully confident that that's who we really are. That this might just be our finest hour. That the lessons that we learn from this challenge hopefully will go forward into our lives, and we'll breathe, and we'll visit, and we'll make bread, and we'll go outside, and we'll be better than we've ever been when we get to the other side of this. And that's true about us, Bill Taylor.
We've done it too many times. We've got records that show that. So, great job, guys. Thanks for joining us. Great job, Sue Kalberg. Always a pleasure. Fist bump from afar. And we will keep you updated. Again, this is a moving, fluid situation. Full team coverage update is less than 30 minutes away on Eyewitness News at 10.
Thanks,
we will
everybody.
be breaking this down. Go to kens5.com. Of course, keep it tuned to our Facebook for updates, and we will see you soon. We're so glad that you're with us once again. Bill Taylor alongside the great Sue Kalberg. God bless y'all. Have a wonderful Monday night. We'll see you on Eyewitness News at 10.
Thanks, guys.